Straight ahead on CCX News, Golden Valley in the middle of a rare case that tests routine rental housing inspections. Plus, a close call for Crystal Police, all caught on dashcam video. And later, trying to get out of that galaxy of debt. Meet the Jedi masters of budgeting. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. An issue surrounding housing inspections and a tenant's right to privacy made it all the way up to the Minnesota Supreme Court today.
The case stems from an incident in Golden Valley where the tenants of a rental property refused to allow city inspectors inside their duplex. Delane Cleveland was in the courtroom today and joined us now with more. Delane?
Mike and Alex, Golden Valley inspects rental properties every 3 years to make sure the house is safe for the renters and their neighbors. But 2 years ago, some tenants decided they didn't want the inspection because they didn't think it was necessary, and they were concerned about inspectors violating their privacy. The city then tried to get a warrant, but a judge denied the warrant and Golden Valley appealed, sending the issue to the state Supreme Court. In a packed courtroom at the state capitol, Minnesota Supreme Court justices listened to arguments pitting the interests of landlords and tenants.
The city of Golden Valley is asking this court to reject its long-standing commitment to individual privacy, the sanctity of the home, and the requirement that the government have individualized suspicion before it commits a search.
Against rules established by cities regarding rental properties.
This is a regulatory inspection for the safety and public health of residents.
The attorneys for both sides made reference to cases going back 100 years, while the judges asked a series of questions about how the Constitution intersects with our daily lives.
There are a number of things that we all keep in our homes that we might not necessarily want people to see. They're not illegal, but that go to our fundamental rights to privacy. And it doesn't address that issue, it seems to me.
The hearing itself lasted more than an hour, but the fact that it got to this point, according to attorney Anthony Sanders, is rare.
This case is very rare because tenants generally are not able to find an attorney to try and appeal something like this. This is about a search of a home. There's no damages. It's not like that the government is taking something out of the property, but it's still a very important right to not have your privacy violated.
After the hearing, the Golden Valley property owners reiterated their beliefs about denying the inspection.
The tenants felt comfortable with where they were living and felt responsible enough to make their own decision that they don't need the inspection. And so we honored their privacy.
The justices aren't expected to announce their decision until later in the year, but if they decide in favor of the landlords and tenants, it would have a huge impact statewide.
For those tenants who decide, no, I don't want you in my home, this will be a change for them in that they'll finally have the right to stop that.
In a statement, the city of Golden Valley said they do the inspections to make sure that apartments have proper electrical, heat, and smoke detectors. And they respect the renters' privacy by giving them advance notice of the inspection. The statement went on to say that this case isn't just about Golden Valley. Cities across Minnesota depend on these inspections to make sure renters have safe housing. Mike?
All right, Delane, thank you. A Plymouth mother and father are accused of child neglect following the death of their 7-year-old adopted son. 39-year-old Timothy Johnson and 38-year-old Sarah Johnson are each charged with gross misdemeanor child neglect after the Hennepin County Attorney's Office spent a year reviewing the case. The Johnson's son, Seth, had bruises all over his body, including large lesions on his feet. The complaint said neither parent could explain how the injuries developed, except to say their son was always hurting himself, including throwing himself down the stairs. Despite acknowledging concerns about their son's behavior, the complaint said the Johnsons never took their son to get checked out because they had issues with going to doctors. The medical examiner needed months to complete an autopsy. but could not make a direct link between the child's death and the actions of the parents.
Brooklyn Center police are looking for one more suspect following a shooting Tuesday night that left one man injured. It happened in the 800 block of 66th Avenue North. When police arrived, they found a man with an apparent non-life-threatening gunshot wound. With assistance from the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office and Plymouth and Minnetonka police canines, authorities were able to arrest a juvenile suspect. They also identified a second suspect, but as we went to air, police had not yet made an arrest. The freezing rain Monday night led to hundreds of accidents around the Twin Cities.
And for the Crystal Police Department, it led to a close call that could have been a lot worse.
This is the damage where it was hit up on County Road 81. As you can see, the tail light here is broken, dented in quite a bit of scratches, but his car was substantially more damaged.
Crystal Community Service Officer Zach Fecto's vehicle had about $1,000 worth of damage after he was hit Monday night along County Road 81 as he was helping another vehicle that had slid off the road. Dashcam video shows the impact as the Chevy Impala hits the back and then slides past the squad vehicle. Fortunately, Officer Fecto was inside the squad with his seatbelt on and was not hurt.
Could have been worse. Somebody could have been outside the car and been struck on foot, but everybody just needs to slow down and drive for the conditions. If you can't drive for the conditions, stay home.
The driver of the Impala was ticketed for not having a valid driver's license.
It's a new year and there are newly elected council members at the helm in local city halls. In Brooklyn Park, 3 new council members were sworn in on Tuesday night. Susan Pah took the oath for the second time in 2 months. She had been appointed to the council in November to complete an unfinished term. Lisa Jacobson is a new council member representing the East District in Brooklyn Park, and a father did the honors for his son. Council member Bob Maida swore in Mark Maida. Mark is also a former Brooklyn Park council member who served from 2005 to 2008. In Maple Grove, 2 newly elected council members took the oath of office. Judith Hansen was previously appointed to the job in 2015 before winning election last fall. Christy Barnett, meanwhile, replaces Eric Johnson, who did not run for re-election. And in Crystal, there is one new face, one you've seen before, and 2 familiar ones. Nancy LaRoche is the new face who will serve the southern portion of Crystal in Section 1. John Budaszewski is a former Crystal Council member who will now represent Ward 3. And the familiar faces are Council member Julie Deschler and Mayor Jim Adams, who were both re-elected to serve 4-year terms.
The American Red Cross has issued an emergency plea for blood donations. The organization is facing a severe blood shortage, and officials say it could impact local hospitals. Reporter Sonia Goins has more.
We're constantly trying to get the word out that it's something you should think about. Sometimes people don't think about it until it affects them personally or they know somebody that needs blood.
Today, the Culvers in Plymouth was not only serving butter burgers, but they also shared space with the American Red Cross.
When I see their big van out here, we come on over.
Steve Reibel donates blood as often as he can. The American Red Cross could use more people like him. In November and December, the organization collected 37,000 fewer donations.
Holidays is a big factor. November, December, it's always a challenge to get enough blood drives and to get enough people to come in to donate because schedules get hectic.
Severe weather is also to blame for the donation shortage. In December, nearly 100 donation centers had to be closed because of extreme temperatures or snow.
We need people to come in and donate. It's just as simple as that.
The shortage is so severe it could change the way doctors and hospitals operate.
If there is not enough blood to handle all of the patients, doctors may have to consider postponing some elective surgeries. Hopefully it doesn't go beyond that.
Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood.
It's good for me and it's good for other people.
That's one of the reasons Cabot Thunham says he donates.
It's good to help other people. The blood goes all over the world as far as I can tell.
According to the American Red Cross, one donation could save 3 lives. They want to continue to help people.
I mean, there are so many people walking the streets that wouldn't be here if donors didn't step up and help.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
And there are several blood drives coming up in the Northwest Metro. For locations and times, you can check our website, that's ccxmedia.org. Still ahead, using the Force to get out of debt. We'll meet the self-proclaimed Jedi masters of budgeting coming up next.
And then a little bit later in sports, neighbors Park Center and Brooklyn Center go head-to-head in boys basketball.
But first, mostly cloudy and bitterly cold on Thursday. High temperatures are barely above zero.
The beginning of a new year is when many vow to make better financial decisions.
And no matter where you are on your financial journey, there are steps you can take to save money. Reporter Shannon Slatton spoke with two so-called money-saving Jedi masters for today's report.
If you feel trapped in a barren wasteland of bad financial decisions, have hope.
Everyone feels like they're bad with money. Everyone feels ashamed of their debt and doesn't want to talk about it. I'd just say, you know, part of the bright side of the Force is, and the rebellion, is to fight back and to say, no, actually, we're all in this together.
Daryl Dahlheimer with LSS Financial Counseling and Tanya Brinston.
Mind what you have learned, save you it can.
Both are self-proclaimed Jedi masters of budgeting.
We're always looking for ways to make financial education fun, right? Nobody wants to be lectured about their budgets.
Somebody has to save our skins.
We think the dark side of the Force, for example, is debt. And debt is so easy to get into.
And the dark side can grow to overshadow everything in your life.
Debt, when it gets really bad, like when you get penalty rates of interest and late fees, that's almost like the Death Star, which was a planet killer. Using a debt management plan and having some support to make it on top of debt is the way to save your planet.
LSS Financial Services offers free financial counseling.
I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
Plus, there are 2 ways to fight back against the dark side of debt and overspending.
Stop that ship! Blast them!
Just like the rebellion did, start small with a savings plan, even if it's only a few bucks a week.
Difficult to
See always in motion is the future, you know, and it's hard to see that savings now, but you know, in the future going forward, just, you know, keep hacking, chopping at the bit.
And then when the dark side calls,
it is useless to resist.
Fight back.
How can you tell when you're getting a call from the dark side of the Force? There's an acronym called HALT that I love, which is never shop or spend when you're too hungry, angry.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Lonely or tired.
Not just in a galaxy or store far away, but in your home too.
That includes online time when you're too hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
Have hope that you too can use the Force to bring balance to your budget.
The Force will be with you, always.
For Money Saver, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
You can check out conqueryourdebt.org for more information on individual financial counseling, or even have a speaker come speak to your group about making good financial decisions. And LSS Financial Counseling Services are free of charge. There you go. Coming up, why some Osseo and Brooklyn Center students are already thinking summer.
But first, the Wayzata boys basketball team gets off to a fast start against Bloomington Jefferson. John Jacobson has that and much more coming up next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Wayzata boys basketball team graduated some key players from last season's 21-win team, but the 2016-2017 Trojans are off to a very strong start this winter, which Brian Schneller's Trojans at home to face Bloomington Jefferson. Jacob Benega stops at the top of the key and nails a 3. He scores Wayzata's first 8 points. Ryan Lindbergh nails a long 2 as the Trojans jump all over the Jaguars to lead 15-2. Luke Paulson drives and then kicks it out to Lindbergh for 3. He scores 20 points in the night, and that's 20-4. Wayzata dominates the early going. An extra pass finds a wide-open Gavin Baumgartner in the corner for a 26-4 lead. Trojans are up 32-15 at the half. Jefferson fights back into it. Tyler Riemersma driving for 2 of his 19 points. They get as close as 11. Sophomore Benega drives for the finger roll for 2 of his 17 points. And then off the inbound pass, Wayzata makes Jefferson pay for the double team. Ben Gross pulls up and hits the jumper. They break the press, and Mitchell Faust gets the layup. Wayzata wins 66-53 to improve to 8-0 this season.
We lost a lot of guys obviously last year, and I think coming into this year, well, not a lot of teams really knew what to expect from us, but from the start we knew what we really had on this team, and that's sharing the ball, and we got a lot of great shooting, and I think we did that tonight and the first 8 games of the season so far.
Park Center's boys basketball team entered the new year looking to start a new winning streak following a tournament loss to Wayzata last week. The Pirates hosted neighboring Brooklyn Center. The Centaurs coming into Tuesday night's game with a 6-2 record. The Park Center pushes the lead to double digits early. Losini Kamara muscling through the defenders to score to give the Pirates an 18-7 edge. Then Kamara sets up Jarius Cook on the fast break for the layup and one. Park Center is up by 12. The Centaurs would cut into the Pirates' lead. Deshaun Pickford off the pass hits the deep 3 ball here. It pulls Brooklyn Center with win 6 at 34-28. But the Pirates score the final 5 points of the first half. Derek Ogechi with a layup. Park Center up by 11 at halftime. Second half, and off the inbounds pass is big freshman Dane Deja scoring on the short turnaround. It's 48-35 Pirates. And then Deja grabs a defensive rebound and gives it to Emmanuel Tamba. He'll take it the length of the court to score, stretching the margin to 20. Park Center holds its double-digit lead on the way to a 91-74 win. The 7-1 Pirates host Armstrong later this week. In girls hockey, conference play on the 5-team Lake Conference is underway, and Wayzata hosted a Minnetonka team that was riding a 5-game winning streak. First period, the Skippers buzzed the net. Emma Bigham popping the rebound in for the first goal of the game. Wayzata responds. Megan Marshall scores 6 seconds into a power play. It's tied at 1 after 1. Second period, Tonka's Sarah McDonald gets good speed through the neutral zone, snaps that goal home, and it's 2-1 Minnetonka. Third period, nice goal by Tonka. Kaylee Langfeld sets up Bigham for the one-timer. Bigham nets a hat trick. The Skippers win 4-1. The Trojans are at top-ranked Edina on Saturday. That's it for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Up next, a wonderful opportunity for local students.
Yeah, what students of Brooklyn Center and Osseo area schools can be a part of when we come back. And finally, summer may feel like a long way off at this point, but several dozen local students will have the opportunity to attend a week-long robotics summer camp tuition-free this year.
That's right. Listen to this. It is possible thanks to a $35,000 grant from the Bosch Community Fund. This is footage of students from Osseo area schools participating in robotics programs and competitions. Robotics equipment can be expensive, and the grant will benefit Osseo and Brooklyn Center students and allow around 40 kids to attend a robotics camp for free this summer at Hennepin Technical College.
We've gotten a lot of robotics equipment in place, and students are really getting very excited and getting involved, and they're doing what the hands-on and application stuff that they really need. So the interest is high.
Registration for the robotics camp will be coming up in April. And that's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again on Thursday.